remember, you'll always have a place at the table here on Restaurant Hunter. I'm Christine Sloan. And of course, I'm with legendary chef David Burke. Hey, high five.
Hey. Five. Thank you.
And you've got Taylor ham on here.
Oh, yeah.
This is real Jersey.
Yeah, it's real Jersey.
Nice. And you go underneath where the muscle is.
There you go.
Easy as pie. Thank you. You took my oyster.
Perfect.
This is crazy, tasty, crunchy, bunchy in a good way. Again, fabulicious. Oh, nice.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. It's a mezzaluna. This is how a scallop should be cooked. Sweet flavor melts in your mouth. The sauce, the citrusy flavor, the sweetness, it's just so fresh. It's absolutely fabulous. How does someone like you become the person you are, so successful after having gone through all of this? What is the secret?
Not secret, but always I say thanks God. Not mine, but God always with me.
So the veal has been cooking in the oven. It looks spectacular. And look at that mozzarella. Mwah! Forget about it.
Philadelphia, America's birthplace, now celebrating another kind of revolution.
The dining scene in Philly is next to New York.
A restaurant renaissance attracting top chefs.
Philadelphia pulled me back home.
Many battling the odds to find success.
You know, I'm from a tough neighborhood. You know, most of my friends didn't make it out.
Join us for a food-filled Philadelphia road trip, next on Restaurant Hunter.
All right, chef, what do we have here?
Japanese crab cake with Alaskan king crab and then bonito on top of it.
Wow.
It just kind of like dances in there.
It's superb. I
Thank
love
you.
this.
This isn't just any Japanese restaurant. This is Morimoto, PA. When Iron Chef Masaharu Morimoto partnered with legendary Philadelphia-based restaurateur Stephen Starr to open this restaurant here in the Old City part of town in 2001, it was a really big deal. I know, I was a news reporter here in Philly at the time. Morimoto, PA was a huge step forward in Philadelphia's restaurant renaissance. Today, Starr owns 20 restaurants and bars here in Philly, has Empire's tentacles reaching out to New York, D.C., and even Paris. And though some things have changed here at the original Morimoto, others have stayed the same, as I learned from Chef Chris Polikas.
This is the tuna pizza Morimoto. It's a classic dish here. It's been on since day one.
There's a great contrast between the crunchy tortilla and the freshness of the tuna.
Exactly.
And the anchovy aioli sauce. Wow.
Thank you.
That's just like savory, right?
Yeah.
It just brings the whole dish together. For people who don't know, Stephen Starr is like a real big deal, right?
Stephen Starr is the man in Philly. He has kind of revolutionized the food scene here in Philadelphia. He's had some restaurants here for almost 20 plus years now. Budokan just celebrated his 20th year. He has everything from like Japanese to French bistros, beer gardens, and continental, which is a nice blend of all different types of cuisines and foods.
Back in the late 90s, why did he see like Philadelphia as this open, wide space for all of these restaurants to eventually come to?
I think that what Stephen kind of looked at was he saw the void. There was no place to really eat. There was a few small places set up, but I feel like what he wanted was for Philadelphia to kind of be on the same level as New York and LA. And I think for him, it was just he saw an opportunity in a space that didn't have something, and he came in and really just pioneered the food scene for Philadelphia. And I fully believe he's majorly responsible for a lot of the things that we're seeing in this city now, as well as his branching out across the U.S. and everything, but it's really like started all here in Philly for him.
But first, this place is literally setting the Hoboken food scene on fire. We're at Antique Bar and Bakery.
The oven it's almost 100 years old. It's 30 tons, made of porcelain brick. It gets well above 2,000 degrees, 400 square feet on the inside. So it's basically the size of a small apartment.
It's crazy. I've never heard of an oven getting up to, 2,000 degrees.
Yeah, well, the more coal that we add, it's all coal, there's no gas. So the more coal that we add, the hotter it gets.
Cooking in a coal oven like no other. It's why executive chef Paul Gerard became a partner at Antique Bar and Bakery in Hoboken.
It was the Antique Bakery, and it had been here for many years. The word is that Sinatra came here to get his bread and freeze it and bring it out to Vegas.
Brothers Joe and Bob Costello had bought the former bakery along with their sister 2 years earlier, just so they could save this one-of-a-kind oven.
We went to the back, saw how big that oven was, and said it was really something else. I had never seen anything like it, and you couldn't build it today. So we knew it was something special.
What was your reaction when Joe and Bob showed you this oven?
I was completely blown away. I had never seen anything like this, even though I've been in the restaurant business my entire life and I've cooked all over the world, and I had never experienced an oven of this size or the magnitude of the heat. And it was like a kid with a new toy, I had to have it and I had to cook in it.
So imagine you just come in here and say, I have to figure out how to work this thing, right?
In the beginning, it was difficult, and it was literally trial by fire. Yeah.
I mean, it's like you were taming this beast, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It was like learning how to ride a dragon. The steaks would actually explode some of the times if they would just combust. If there was too much fat and too much heat coming together at the same time, they would blow up and it would fill the restaurant with this black smoke. And luckily, it's all worked out. We actually cook in the furnace, which is really unheard of. The baker who was here for over 35 years, when he saw me cooking in the furnace, he said to me, you can't
safe?
Cook. Yeah, no, it's not. But we're pretty adventurous. The menu, the design, the feel, the vibe, everything, started with the oven.
Decorations come from my family's homes, my grandparents, my parents, a lot of pictures that come from their libraries. We have a mirror that's on the wall here that came from my parents' original home. So it's really a compilation of a lot of memories from my family, and my brother is a movie director. He has put a lot of his stuff here.
The Italian-leaning menu at Antique Bar and Bakery, full of surprises.
One of my favorites is the spaghetti squash carbonara. So it's a traditional American carbonara with the pancetta and pecorino and cream, but I use spaghetti squash instead of the regular pasta. So the egg is poached first, and then we bread it in flour, egg, breadcrumb, and then it gets deep fried. So it's a soft poached egg, and once it gets deep fried, it stays very crispy on the outside, and that goes on top of the spaghetti squash carbonara. So it incorporates the traditional egg aspect of the dish, and when you pop into it, it just makes this creamy deliciousness. Mozzarella is one of the most popular dishes. We make it to order, which is strange. Hoboken is known for its mozzarella. It's famous. It's probably the most famous thing in the country, aside from having Sinatra being from here. And we are probably the only place that makes it to order. So if you order a mozzarella, we make it a la minute, as we say. So you get it and it's still warm right out of the pot and nice and stringy.
What do you cook in this oven?
We do about 80% of the menu in the oven, aside from salads and tossed pastas. One of my favorite dishes is the hot oil shrimp. So it's a large prawn, a head-on shrimp, and that comes with a Calabrian chili oil, a lot of herbs, a lot of burnt lemon, a lot of garlic. Very simple flavors, but all of them together, it's fire, it's coal, it's very primal. It's the foundation of what we all eat all the time anyway. And I wanted to really tap into the very DNA of our food memories. When you eat the food coming out of that oven, it kind of triggers something in your head of like, oh yeah, that's what food tastes like. Because everybody cooked with fire at one point.
So what a lot of people want to eat is the ribeye steak here.
Yes. We get the 30-day dry age. It's called the primal cut. It's the whole rack of the meat. So we clean it up and we cut the chops. I do what is called a bone-to-bone cut. So it's just well over 3 pounds of 30-day dry age ribeye. I take that chop and we put it on a hot cast iron with sea salt, and I char it up right next to the coals. And that's under a 5-minute process when the coals are that hot. And then I put it on a bed of herbs, so it's rosemary, sage, thyme, oregano, a lot of fresh herbs. I like to use a lot of fresh herbs. And I finish it in the main oven at a lower temperature and let it go to just under about the temperature I want. And then we leave it out and we let it sit. So the magic in making steaks always happens in the resting. You know, there's a lot of effort that goes into cooking it, and then one of the biggest efforts you should always put in when you're making a steak is just back off and let it rest.
Sorry to hold you. How can I help?
Welcome to the Great Wazoo.
8-ounce or 12-ounce?
Inside this Parsippany strip mall storefront, owner Joseph Daniele approaches the busy lunch hour like a quarterback on a game-winning drive.
I would liken it to being on a football team and executing a plan and having the thrill of, yeah, we just did that.
Joseph's sandwich-making teammates include sons Joe and Spencer.
But you also pride yourself in getting people in and out of here in 6 minutes.
Yes.
Does that really happen?
Yes. well, the sign says it. And if
Well, you got 20, 30 people in line.
yeah, well, when the line gets really long, I will, and I'll talk to the people that are at the 6-minute mark, and I'll say, you'll be out of here in 6 minutes or more, guaranteed. We have an assembly line where one guy is meat, cheese, and bread only.
The next person is going to do the dressing, and the next person does the cutting and wrapping.
And then there's a cashier, and then there's 2 linebackers that fill in the holes.
How long is this going to take?
A minute. Around a minute. Nothing less. Maybe less I could do. We already got the meat cut. My brother put on the cheese and bread. We're going to walk down to the dressing
We're at
area.
14 seconds, right?
We're going to walk down to the dressing area.
Come on over. All right, so what station are we at now?
This is the dressing station. Very important. That's where we make up a lot of our speed.
All right, so we are heading 28 seconds.
You're in the gauntlet now, boys.
We're at 43 seconds.
One of the hard things to do is to get them to regurgitate what you want to hear. So we have a set order of things, what we call everything. That consists of lettuce, tomato, onion, oil, vinegar, oregano. We are trying to make them say as much as those things so we can put it on that sandwich quicker.
58
Cut it.
seconds.
2, 1, sandwich done.
1 minute.
And that's the way we want to do it. We want to do that, we'll do it even quicker. Keep me there. We got a couple more people that goes behind. My father answers phone calls. It's a machine. Machine with a smile. Try to be quick. Try to be fast.
A lot of times we'll have a really long line, and I'll see it all the time. We'll have a regular customer, and right in front of them is a first timer. And the first timer's like, no, I'm never getting that. And they start to turn away. And the regular customer will say, hey, you're in good shape. You stay right here. All the time it happens. And they're like, when they get to the cash register, pay them their food, they go, I can't believe I just did that.
When people walk in here, they're also getting a dose of humor with the sandwich, right?
Absolutely. Humor is a great de-stressor, as we all know. Our jobs can be very stressful with all the people in line. My customer jobs are also, I assume, very stressful with bosses and such.
A lot of your customers are like corporate workers, right? Because this town is like packed with corporations.
Which is why we're here. And so in order to get through, in order for us to get through, in order to help them get through their day, I kind of insist on humor. I have a box of these little snaps, you know, the snaps. If someone's too serious, you know, the little, you throw them down, they pop.
You behaving today?
Absolutely.
I don't happen to believe that, so there.
Order your sandwich, please. Snap, please.
How many different kinds of sandwiches do you offer here?
I've never counted, but at least 60, 70. When we opened up, it was 1 through 18. That's all we had. And then you just start creating, you wind up with this gigantic menu. Our chicken salad is absolutely unparalleled.
So why is your chicken salad unparalleled?
I will tell you why.
Oh!
Because 99% of the chicken salad you're going to find out in every other deli, it is boiled thigh meat.
Yeah.
We use marinated and grilled breast meat, which we grill every day. It's just simple. It's chicken, celery, salt, pepper, mayonnaise. And then we add walnuts and cranberries if they want that for the walnut cranberry chicken salad. Our roast beef insanity is palate pleasing on a few different levels. We start with obviously delicious roast beef, put a little American cheese on top of there, some pickle slices, some leaf lettuce, some sweet peppers, and some of our homemade chipotle aioli. Now what happens is when you bite into it, the sweet peppers love playing with the smoke of the chipotle. And then, so you get that great flavor combo, if you will, and then like the leaf lettuce and the pickles give it a crunch, a really great texture. So it kind of like explodes in your mouth, like, wow. So
You know, when you
it's
talk
insane.
about food in your sandwiches, you get so excited.
You know, at 33 and counting years, I am getting tired of owning a business, but I still love the food and I still love dealing with the customers.
So you claim to make the best tuna salad sandwich on the planet.
We do.
Well, what makes it special?
Well, I will not be able to tell you the full secret of it because it is indeed a secret.
Why am I here?
Well, I will tell you this. I will give you a little bit of the secret.
Okay.
A little bit of the
All right.
secret is to get the tuna as dry as possible. You know, taking all the water it's packed in completely out. And I have a little machine that I invented that does that effectively. It's a lever. It's long and you can apply a great deal of pressure. It's a way to squish the hell out of it
All
to
right,
get
just
the water
squish
out.
it, squish it, squish it, squish it. That's the
Yes,
bottom
it's-
line.
I call it the squishinator.
That makes the greatest tuna salad
Yes.
sandwich on the planet.
My squishinator does that.
Is there a secret to the mayo?
The best mayonnaise, but yeah,
What is it?
can't tell you. Can't. I mean, I literally, have never told anyone, and sorry.
That's okay.
It's good.
What, does it come on different breads?
Oh yeah, we have 6 different rolls, 5 different wraps. I love it on our rosemary Parmesan sub, fixed like a sub. Lettuce, tomato, onions, oil, and vinegar.
Wow. You know, we're so used to eating tuna fish on like the white bread, thin or toasted.
Right.
I think it should be eaten on a thick bread like this with lots of flavor on it. This is really, really delicious.
There's science that goes into all of this.
Really?
You know, like my dad thinks of everything with this stuff. You know, he's
What's
talking
the
about
science behind
when you wrap a sub roll, especially something like this. You don't want to compress all these little air bubbles that you see right here. You know what I mean? Because when air is passing through that from you taking a bite, the flavor and the aroma from the bread are coming into your palate. So he says, don't wrap the paper too tight, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Firm to keep the ingredients in there, not too firm. You don't want to squash all that flavor out of there. Even that air is flavor. So everything is taken into account. And we've had people come in every day saying, this is the best sandwich around, giving that happiness to people, obviously. It has a positive effect on everyone here, so.
Spencer, thank you. This sandwich certainly made me really happy.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and thanks for coming in.